G'day gang, pretty simple one today. We've got 2003 VY Holden Commodore with a 3.8 litre V6 Ecotech. They don't normally suffer with many problems. There are a few, and I'll show you a couple of problems they suffer with. The heater tap down there, they leak. ABS modules, you've seen me do a few of those, or at least one. Alternators go, water pumps go, coil packs go, DFI plates used to go quite a bit, including the fuel pump. And outside of that, thermostats, normal things, maintenance. But the only other place they really seem to fail, well, engine mounts, sag. This actually looks like it might be sagged a little bit when you look at the height between there and there. The right hand mount might be sagged a bit there. But the valley covers, they leak water. I don't know if there's any up here I can show you. But they leak out of, here's a gasket set. And where the water galleries are, the rubber comes away and they start to leak water, and luckily they don't leak it internally, they leak it externally, which is just luck, I guess. So I'm going to whip the manifold off it and we'll have a look and see those see that inlet manifold gasket will be damaged. Kilometres on this is a couple of 100,000, I believe. I could be wrong. 208, 259, 89. $259,000. So they really do pretty well. So I'm going to whip that apart now, and we'll have a look at that gasket when I get the valley cover off it. So at this point I've removed the alternator, sat in here, and the belt. Now I have to do that because I have to remove this tensioner block. The reason I have to do that is because this pipe here goes through the block, and that's it, you can see down in through there. So we have to withdraw that pipe. The only way we can do that is to pull this block out of here. So here you can see the pipe that I was talking about. It comes through the other side there. And that went into that little hole in there. Now we've got a little bit of look around space. Did I tell you I was changing the water pump? We're doing that just because these people have had this for a little while, but they've never changed the pump, and they decided that they would change the pump. Well, we've just about done everything else on the thing. We've changed the radiator not so long ago because it split the tank. The heater tap we replaced not so long ago because it was leaking, as they do. And outside of servicing, it really hasn't had too much of anything else. So the strange thing about these, most of these, when you look down here, we've got 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, 8 mil, You know, 15 mil with some of the bolts, 17 millimetre. And then you got valley cover bolts and valve cover bolts. They're 3/8 of an inch. It just makes you wonder what was going on there. But nevertheless, by the way, these things with these odd sizes, these are all metric threaded, but these are not. These are imperial. So anyway, I'll keep powering along. I'll get this valley cover off, and I'll give you a squiz at the gasket. What's the matter now? Pulling the fuel pipes off it. Just some wires, injector wiring, whatever. That's never been off before because it still has these little things they generally break off, like that one's gonna. But yeah, we'll get into it. And so there's the manifold off, and here's what I've been talking about. Where's my pointy stick? This is where the oil comes, the coolant comes through the manifold to exit the engine and make its way to the radiator. But when you look around, you can see the water and oil mix. This is all given up. I'll pull this when I take these off. I'll give them a wipe down. I'll show you how distorted they become. And if you have a look really close there, you can see, well, you don't have to look too close, but you can see where the oil and the water has been mixing. This is coming through, coming out, going down into the valley. Luckily they do steam off quite a bit of that coolant, and it goes out through the PCB. So let's have a look over here. They're not as bad as I usually see them. But if you, that should be square across the top there. It's started to come away, look. And that's all it needs. That one's the same. He's bowed down at the top there as well. This fella, same deal. And not quite as bad, but that's what happens. So I'll now clean all this up, this fine mess, and put that all back together again. I'm going to change the water pump while we're in here, thermostat, radiator hose, and I think that's it. Oh, I changed the oil, of course, because we've got the schmutz in there. So there we are. I gave it a quick degrease. I haven't spent a great deal of time on it. Yes, it's got some grotty bits, but the more time I spend on it, the more money I've got to charge the customer. So there's our new gaskets all installed there. Just letting the little silicone corner bits go off. I'm going to now pull the pump off it, the water pump off it. We'll replace that while we've got this all nice and open. Ding ding, round two. Okay, so when we look at the old water pump, we can see it's not dead, but it's certainly getting very thin. So it wouldn't have been long before that gave up. And so there's the new one. It's got a cast impeller. These pump a lot better than the stamped ones. You can see in there, look. You can see in there where it's rotting away in there. Gone in that little bit, gone in that little bit. There's some in there. That's what it should look like, that there. So it was on its way. It was going to go. But again, cast pump. It's got a bigger shaft, bigger bearing, and cast iron, so they seem to do the job much better. I'm well on the way to be reassembled now. You really can't tell much. It looks like, well, you can tell I've done a water pump. That looks nice and clean and new. That thermostat looks like it's just about seen enough of the battlefield. So we'll put a new one in then. Make sure that little hole there is clear. And then we'll put the top back on here. Nearly done. Okay, so I'm about to put the tensioner back in and that pipe. But even though I'll put a new seal on here, O-ring, I'm still putting a little silicone on there, a little ATV sealer, because when that goes in, that hole there, it's a bugger. Just gotta make sure that's all nice and clean in there. Same goes for this piece here. We'll pull the old seal off. There. The new seal comes in the kit. We'll just go and buff that up. We'll put the new seal on, we'll put a bit of silicone around it, bam it back in the hole. And that's that pipe just fitted there. Let's see where it goes. Look, you can get away with not putting silicone down in those, but realistically, it's a bugger if it seeps. A little bit of silicone hurts nothing. A little bit, remember? A little bit. Okay, all I really got now is the alternator, a serpentine belt, and then we're going to drain the oil and stuff out of it too. Here's another thing that you might be able to tell. Sometimes you'll see some oil on the top of the cap here and building up inside the neck of the radiator there, and that again is oil mixing up there in the valley cover. Not always. If it looks reddish, it'll be more than likely the radiator's faulty, and the oil cooler for the transmission, that's if it's an automatic of course, so automatic transmission could be leaking internally of the radiator. But if it's just brown oil that you'll see on top of the cap there, it'll be through that valley cover gasket. So I'm about to throw the throttle body on. I just sort of let you know a little thing. If you have one of these engines, I've seen lots of people come in asking why is the check light on and why is it idling so badly. There's a little breather bypass right there. The breather gadget, it goes through a solenoid around the back there, and it plugs onto the throttle body right there, and quite regularly, or quite often should I say, it'll drop off there, and you won't notice it when the turtle shell's on the top. You won't notice it, but you pull the turtle shell off and you can just pop it back up there. It's not an unusual thing. They just drop off. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah, so I think most of you have seen the method I use for filling up radiators. It's an old piece of radiator hose and a bottle of there was milk, or some chocolate milk at one point, and I just fill that bugger up. Especially this is how I do it on these ones, on this particular engine. And crack him off till we get coolant coming out. It's only just starting to dribble out. I'll throw a bit more water in him. It's already got coolant in it. I'll put some in. They're coming out. Yeah, they're coming out. So I'll tighten that up and we'll run it and cap it off. That's what we'll do. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll turn the heater up to hot. Let's click him over to 1. Make sure the air's not operating, and fire him up. Check the alternator. Oh well. sure that's all plugged in. So let me check the alternator. Okay, alternator's fine. But look what's happened here. So the belt slipped off that pulley there. It's supposed to be over the top of that one. So we'll go and get the gadget and reset the belt again. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, things do happen. We'll try again. No battery light now. And I'm happy that that's okay. I don't know if you can see there, hopefully you can. As I rev this engine, this coolant level is going to drop right down. So what I'll do, I need two hands to do this. So what I'll do is I'll rev it up with the throttle cable there. This is going to go down as far as it will. Then I'm going to flick this out of the way. Sure, I'm going to lose a lot of coolant or water or whatever the hell's in there. And then I'm going to cap it off, and that'll be enough for this. So just let me get my two hands into action. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can do it that way. Maybe we can do it this way. Can you see me there? You see what's going on? Yep, you can see there. Cap is ready. And that's it. She doesn't need any more coolant than that. Then I'll just let it warm up. I'm going to drain the oil out of it, and put the turtle shell back on. I don't know where his bolts for the turtle shell are, but the turtle shell's got to go back on like that. Wherever his bolts are, I don't know. His nuts, I mean. It might be in the car, we'll have a look shortly. But just let that warm up a little bit and dump the oil. Now I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning of the video that what happens is you'll pressure test the radiator, the cooling system, and the coolant's going to come out and you're going to see it dripping down the back of the engine and down the front of the engine. But all the places that you look at that are supposed to have coolant or water aren't leaking. So what it does, it runs down the top of the valley and comes out the ends. And yeah, so you end up with a drip at the back and drip at the front. Sometimes it happens on both sides, sometimes just one, but depending on how bad the inlet manifold gasket is. But yep, no. Idling all steady and nice, so it's not sucking any air in. And that's that one done. Have yourselves a good one. Not a bad job. I've known blokes to take about 4 hours to do this job. I've taken about an hour and a half because I had to do the pump as well. So it's not a bad job. Not a bad job. Anyway, check you later. Have yourselves a good one. Cheers.